It's time for the Daily Stand Up Podcast presented by Agile Dad with your host, Lee Henson. Without any further ado, let's get started.
I am so glad that you're here joining me today. Once again, I want to talk about the stable framework. So I dedicated one episode a week so far to talk about stable because it's up and coming, it's on fire. And Mike Berry did such a fantastic job with this pulling it all together. The concept that I want to talk to you about today are the five stable principles. Now I know what you're thinking, oh my goodness, it's another manifesto or another checklist. It's not designed to be that way, and I think these are actually really cool. So I'm going to go through each one with you at a high level, knowing that there's a lot more to learn. And hopefully, this will help you understand a little more about stable. So, stable is about insight, coordination, accountability, and improvement within a system. These are the four elements that bring results. A stable team is first challenged with attaining the service levels expected by their customers. Once those levels of service are in place and consistent, the team is then challenged with delivering those same levels of service for less internal cost and effort. This requires continual innovation and improvement. To guide a team towards sustainable continual improvement, the following five stable principles exist in the framework. So here they are. Principle number one: anything repeatable can be improved. So, stable practitioners operate under the belief that anything repeatable can be improved again and again. From Toyota to Ford to Hyundai and other companies that adopt lean philosophies, these companies have realized that anything repeatable can be improved, and they operate with that mentality. Now, even if you're not doing manufacturing, if you hire new people, if you assemble workstations, if when you let someone go, you do an exit interview, if you have a certain process for people to follow to get their new equipment when they join a company, those are all repeatable processes. So you have to understand that even in a more technical environment, repeatable processes are there. And once you start discovering how many things actually are repeatable, it really does make a huge difference. Number two, improvement requires repetition, reflection, and change. This is really an agile practice here. Repetition alone brings systematized inertia. Add reflection and you get better insight. Better insight generates new ideas, and those new ideas require change in something to bring improvement. Sure. So Schuhart's model for gaining system insight is the plan, do, check, act model. In this model, you make an improvement plan, that's the plan. Then you act on the plan, do. Then you measure the results, check. And if favorable, you update your standard operating procedure and process card to reflect the updated improvement. That's the act. If the results are not favorable, of course, you revisit. But what I can tell you is this is a powerful tool. Okay, let's go to the next one. So, principle number three: sustained improvement requires systematization. That's a fun word to say three times. Systematization. I did it. Okay, so continual improvement is just not enough. You must have sustained continual improvement. Anyone can have a new idea for improvement and implement it, but when that person gets promoted or takes on a new job or wins the lottery, the improvement vanishes with them. For this reason, sustainable continual improvement requires a system of record. There must be a go to repository containing lessons learned, standard operating procedures, card checklists, recovery models, and other mechanisms to preserve each new improvement. Without this, you might be engaging in continual improvement, but not sustained continual improvement. And that is important. There's a huge difference. You want to have sustained improvement, not just an improvement for the next few minutes, right? Okay, principle number four: improve systems, respect people. Deming taught us that when problems occur, management must focus on improving the system and not on blaming the person. The old industrial model held employees accountable for problems and would often make them pay with their jobs. Deming taught us that the real question is to ask how the system can be improved so the problem doesn't happen again, both with the same employee and future employees working on the same task. This safe culture engineering fosters trust and assurance among employees and drives creativity when problems occur. When a problem does occur, the master chief should challenge the process owner to brainstorm permanent improvement to the process to prevent those same problems from happening again. This is probably one of the things I love the most about Stable. the ability for you to make sure you're not going to make the same mistake over and over and over. Okay, principle number 5 is speak using data. Whenever possible, use data to express the reality. If you want to know how happy your customers are with your products or services, survey them. If you want to know how much time is spent reworking bad code that was rejected from the test department, measure it. The stable framework is all about improvement. You cannot conclusively improve something unless you first measure it. The concept of kata cards is presented at process handoff checkpoints, and SLAM charts updated daily provide measured accountability data. In stable, we resist vague status updates like, we think we're on track, or we feel like we're moving along okay. Comments like this are of little value. Now, oftentimes you hear me talk about the the burn down charts, and how burn down charts are great in the sense that they give you an idea of whether you're above or below the line, whether you're on track or off track. But they're also horrible because they're so time focused that oftentimes it looks like you're on track, but you may not actually be getting the things done that you need to accomplish. So you need to find ways to speak using data that makes better sense. You hear me talk about agile earned value, or figuring out whether things are part of a cumulative flow diagram backup. Where do we have bottlenecks, and how are we practicing and limiting WIP? So the key is in stable is to focus on consistent, continual improvement. Something that you're always looking for the next thing to improve. You're always looking to make things better. You're making changes, but they're sustainable changes and not things that are just changed for the short term. So that way the organization can behave better. So I hope that you're enjoying this little preview of stable. If you want to learn more about this, the book is available on Amazon. I don't get anything for you buying it, but what I can tell you is the book is called The Stable Framework. It's by Mike Berry, and it really is a combination of agile, lean, and operational excellence values. It sits right on top of your agile implementation, and it really does make a difference when it comes to helping ensure that your business is building the right thing and building the thing right and getting quick feedback and not making the same mistakes. That's the big one. So I hope you enjoyed this. If you have a question about stable, I encourage you to reach out to us. We'll drop a link to the book down in the description of this podcast as well. And as always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care.